Welcome to the Downright Happy Podcast, a show where we have candid conversations about finding joy and motivation in everyday life. I'm way underqualified and overpassionate to talk about all things building a life that you love, and I think one of the best ways to start is by having conversations and listening to the people around you. Today we are going to unpack something near and dear to my heart, moving, and I couldn't think of a better individual to join me than three-time Olympic figure skater, mom of 65, inventor of the Pop-Tart, and paid spokeswoman for QVC's non-stick travel line. Please welcome my friend, roommate, and co-host, Rebecca C.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
So good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Anytime.
So, one of the ways that we like to kick off the show is by doing an ick of the week.
Okay.
So part of our platform is we reject toxic positivity. So, because, sometimes life is really shitty. Icky. And so we like to talk about those and unpack those. Would you, as our guest, like to share your ick of the week?
Oh my goodness. So many to talk about.
You're like, does this have to be one?
So, including but not limited to, I will have to say my ick of the week has to be losing my wallet last night and waking up with no recollection of where it may be. Oh. So it's either in the back of the Uber I took last night or on the streets of South Boston.
How did you track or figure out where it could be?
Well, when I woke up this morning and I was going to take my journey to Dunkin' Donuts and my wallet was not in its usual hook,
mm-hmm.
I ripped apart every single part of our apartment.
Oof.
And when it wasn't there, I used my deduction skills to say, okay, when was the last time?
The power of seduction.
the
power
of deduction. And I called the bar that I was having a time at last night, and they were like, sorry girl, nowhere to be found.
Ooh.
And so now Uber is trying to be in contact with my driver, but he has decided not to respond.
What do you mean?
He's ghosted me.
So your icks of the week are losing your wallet and having your Uber driver ghost
me.
you.
Exactly.
Ooh,
so that was my ick of the week, and I would love to hear yours.
Ooh, I think mine is a little bit more abstract, and I have to say, I am saying this from outside of the club because this is about women. I think it's so icky when a girl is like really, really negative towards another girl for something about being a girl.
Oh my god.
It could be if there was like a girl that was a terrorist, and Susie Q was like, "Yo,
terrorism
sucks."
Yeah, like
then I'd be like, I respect it.
But
if it's about like just them existing and stuff, like let them be. It's icky.
Like girls are supposed to be supportive of other girls, and sometimes we aren't, which is
exactly.
Sad. Yes.
So that's how I feel about that. But I was saying it from outside of the club.
True.
But it still is.
We are complicated creatures.
It's a little icky. It's a little icky.
Well, it is icky, but
But as long as we're banded together against the straight men, then we're.
Yeah. You got my vote. Don't worry.
Then we're fine. Okay, so a little. Obviously, with one ick, there has to be a green flag or a. What do you call them?
In school we call them glows and grows. So technically it's not like, you're not saying that it's a negative thing, but it's something that you can work on. Would be a grow, and then your glow is like your green flag.
I like that.
Your something, your highlight.
Your highlight of the week. Ooh, okay. So what would be your yes please of the week?
Okay. Definitely, I would say we traveled to my home to Connecticut and banded back together with my friends and my family.
Thank you again for having me.
Of course. It was a blast, and I think definitely getting to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in the past.
And just for the listeners, for context, because everybody talks about like their home friend group. And I'm used to people having 5, 7, home friends. Rebecca has a group of about 45-ish home friends that are all one group chat, that all come together for the holidays. Anything that you can celebrate with a Jell-O shot
will be there. It will be in syringe form. It will be a pitcher of green tea. Shots.
Can we talk about that for a hot second?
Oh, so I told my mother has been hosting Friendsgiving for about, I want to say, 4 years now.
Wow.
And it started out really small, just like a select group, and it grew into something where it's literally like a village where come one, come all. And she literally acts as a caterer.
She took it so.
Oh, she was
it was her mission.
She bought like a folding table just for like appetizers and a charcuterie board. It's great, but it started out with literally one plate of mashed potatoes, one plate of mac and cheese, and
it's grown.
And it went from there. But so this year is probably our biggest turnout, and I told all of my invites, all of my friends and the people that I welcomed, like, it would be really helpful, because I was thinking, like, my mom's cooking a lot of food, but that's a lot of kiddos.
That's a lot for one person.
That's a lot of 20-year-olds in one house. So I asked that, like, if you could stop and grab an appetizer or make something of your own that you want to contribute to the table.
Like a potluck vibe.
It was very potluck.
I have a complicated relationship with the word potluck.
Potluck. It was a smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord.
There you go. So BYO? Yeah, so it was bring your own appetizer and BYOB. Everyone brought their own booze, which turned out quite well for the rest of us. But in terms of booze,
not well for me.
My friend Joey, shout out Joey, he decided that his contribution to the table,
as you will,
was this giant pitcher of green tea shots, and for the listeners, it's Jameson peach schnapps, and I'm pretty sure he had some Sprite in there. It tastes like
very clear, a shot.
It's supposed to be a shot. So it's supposed to hit you hard, and he made a pitcher of it. So it was mass produced, and so.
Fuck you, big green tea.
No, literally mass production of green tea, and so we all kind of took it seriously as our mission to finish this pitcher, and I believe it was over 2 gallons. And I know that we took part in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, no, actually, just
there was a moment that I'll say it. It was the holidays. There was a moment that the shot glasses that were beside the pitcher ran out, and then it was replaced with just regular cups.
Oh yeah, like solo cups. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's okay. And my mom made pudding shots, and she forgot to hand them out, and I told her that was probably a good idea, because we go out to the bars afterwards, as some of you may contribute to the night before Thanksgiving.
The local economy.
Yeah, it's the locals. It's everyone comes together, and it's basically a reunion. And
the most chaotic, odd reunion.
Yeah, it definitely had the odd factor, but everyone just it's literally like the Grammys, but for small town bars. Yeah. And we put on our leather pants and our boots, and
there was a moment where y'all were walking, and it was the classic
and the clunk, dun, dun, with the boots. It. Yeah, so the green tea contributed to my green flag.
I love that.
As well.
I love that.
What was yours?
Ooh.
I feel like it was the pecan pie that my mom made.
Oh, stop. That was so good. There were so many. There have been just so many green flags lately, and anytime that I'm in Connecticut, I just... it's one of those places, I'm there, and I know I want to move there. I love it so much. So being in Connecticut, just in general, was a green flag. A green flag for me was after Friendsgiving, I hopped in an Uber. It struck 12. I Cinderella'd that bitch. Oh. Uber was ordered. I blew you some kisses.
Yeah, literally smooches by, and I was like, oh, am I not invited to Uber into my own house? Okay.
I'm sorry, but she was engaged.
I was engaged in conversation.
So I ordered the Uber. Then I was texting everybody. Really? I loved them.
Really?
I was so thankful for them.
Why didn't I get a text?
Because I literally got to wake up and tell you that.
True. Okay, yeah, you did do that.
So then I get to your house with your mother. not my family.
Well,
I love them, but not my family. I bust through that door, I wave to that Ring camera, and I go ham.
At the leftovers. Oh, and the new ramekin dishes at my mom.
Gorgeous. They were like mini casserole dishes.
They're like mini
and
casserole.
I just stacked that bitch.
Oh.
Or,
full.
It was just
array.
Boom, and it was magical.
And I love how my mom's she doesn't want to waste the good Tupperware, and so she puts it all in those gallon Ziploc bags, and it's brilliant.
It's so brilliant.
But it's also kind of like, where is are we animals?
You can't really do the like classic slice or scoop down.
No, you gotta like.
It's kind of just a squeeze.
Yeah. Squeeze and pull.
You know how like with an icing piping bag, cut the tip, just mashed potatoes,
literally.
stuffing.
Literally.
It would be so good.
Yep.
So good. Jumping into the meat, the juicy meat of the episode, we are talking about moving, and it's really cool. I feel like we have a good perspective on it because we just moved 2 months ago.
Coming up on 3 months.
Coming up on
because
3.
End of November right now.
Which is, it's amazing at how fast it's
That
gone.
is crazy to me, but yes.
So we just moved, and we moved in together. We've never lived before.
We were friends before though.
And we were friends.
We're not randos.
Not randos at this time.
At this time.
But with kind of the discussion of moving, I thought it would be helpful to break it down into there's everything that went into the pre-move and then the move itself, and then we're kind of sitting in this post-move of like, ooh, we could have done some things better.
Yeah, we did.
We did some stuff right.
Yeah.
And so I thought it would be fun to unpack it. A quick little disclaimer conversation before we jump into it. Because I don't know, I don't want to just get on a podcast and be like, this is how you move.
Oh, we are professionals.
We are, except for us, we're professionals.
Yeah, like everybody else has no clue.
But so if you're exactly like us, we did a move for the girls and the gays.
Yep.
So obviously that's who we are, and we were friends before moving in.
Yep, and we were friends with our 2 other roommates as well, too.
And our friendship really, we knew moving into this that it was going to be okay, and because our baseline is really good communication. So if that's not your dynamic, some of it might not apply.
True.
And we also, huge acknowledgement to the support network that we had, especially Becca's parents and some of the other roommates' parents.
Oh yeah, I feel like we were our own luggers for sure. Like, I'm a big shout out to everyone that helped me move one dresser up these 3 flights of stairs. It was a battle and we won it.
We did.
We won it. You know, sometimes you gotta lose a battle to win a war, but we won that battle.
You did. And like Bex is saying too, we are 2 out of 4 roommates, and so I think that dynamic, moving with 4, hugely different than it would be moving with 2.
All hands on deck was kind of the motto.
Yeah.
For the first.
And it has to be.
Exactly.
And then I think too, taking into account, like with the amount of people that you're moving, if you've moved before and you know the style that you like to move in or how you want to move, I think one of the biggest things is I don't think I'll ever move the way I did again. This move really taught me.
I will say that style that you had, it was a style. It was a style.
An era.
It was an era, exactly.
That era has ended.
It was an era, and I'm glad that we learned from it because, you know, I will give you full credit because you packed up, put it all in your Jeep, and disclaimer, me and Will have basically the same car.
Literally.
And I still am bringing things here from my home every time I go back. So I had like 3 bags of stuff that I brought back here from Thanksgiving, and I'm still probably going to bring things when I go back for Christmas. Damn. So I will give Will full props for putting literally everything he owns in his car, everything he owns in the car to the left, and just literally just zoom. And
I also didn't tell anyone that I was leaving.
Yeah, like completely just ghosted the state of Maine.
Yeah.
And was like, I'm gone. Which, well, no, you told the people that was important to tell.
Exactly.
Like your living situation beforehand.
Yes.
You communicated with that, and then, but anyone that wasn't on a need to know basis,
boom.
There was no PSA.
I am the PSA.
You are This podcast is PSA. We moved, bitches.
We moved.
Here.
Boom. Which, speaking of,
mm-hmm.
how did we come to the decision that we were gonna move?
Well, I think we all had different motives.
Mm.
We all had different reasons to move.
Mm.
I personally knew that, well, so I was brought into the fold later. It was originally you and our other two roommates planning to just be in Boston in general.
Yeah.
And I kind of just had no clue.
Or it had,
what I was doing.
To back it up even further, so our other roommate lives in Boston.
Or lives.
And was looking for an apartment.
Yeah.
And so it was then the two. I was like, hey, let's look for a place. And then the third joined in, and then the fourth.
Yeah, so I was the fourth. I was last. And, it was more, I had no clue what I wanted to do, post-graduation, which is a whole topic in itself. We can do another episode on that one, because I can go into detail, and I will go into heavy detail, but not right now. But no clue the direction I really wanted to go in. I only knew that I wanted to teach, and thankfully my education, and my degree can really put me anywhere in this country.
Especially in this climate.
Especially in, there's a big teacher shortage, and I think I was like, okay, well, if you can teach from anywhere, walk it like you talk it.
Boom.
And you guys you gave me full last warning. You were like, we are moving forward with or without you. Do you want to be involved? And I was like, you know what? Literally, sure. Okay. Didn't tell my parents. Didn't tell anyone. I was just like, I'm just gonna do it. And then I enlisted their help. Couldn't really go far without Miss Les. So, who is my mother?
Shout out Miss Les. With that pre-move, looking at that whole time period, diving into it, what would you say was the biggest mistake that was made, either by you or by us collectively?
Or in general? Oh my goodness. I don't think so. There's no mistakes, only happy accidents. That's what I tell my students.
She's an educator.
Yeah, education and Bob Ross, we love. But I think if I were to go back and do it again.
Yes, actually, I like that perspective.
If I were to go back and do it again, I think I would have found a lot more confidence in moving and peace in moving because I had the job. I had gotten the job before we found the place.
Yeah.
And thankfully my job, I can be put anywhere. So I kind of really lucked out.
Yeah. And
I feel like we were riding on luck. We were riding on the skin of our teeth. And
there was some little fairy dust pushing it along.
And yeah, and whatever angels were on our shoulders, really were okay, here. Because I think it was hard not being in a central location together to talk about things in person.
Yeah. Which, and hopping in here to explain, the entire apartment search was done remotely.
Yep.
We lived in different states. All four of us lived in different states, had different schedules, different work. And so some of these, actually, the majority, only Becca had seen the apartment before we all signed on it.
Yeah.
And there were other ones that I only had toured, nobody else saw.
Yeah, and your tours were mostly just literal FaceTimes. And we started out really strong, and I think it was more about, okay, we are grown-ups now. We can't just look at Zillow and be ooh, rent. You have to look at the place. You have to engage with with the space. And also me being a woman, I need to make sure it's okay to walk to my car at night.
Yeah.
And living in a city location, sometimes that's a little dicey.
Yeah.
And I know my parents would be way more supportive. And because I don't really rely on my parents financially right now, but I still love the backup.
Of course.
And so using that backup, I needed to make sure I could have put a great slideshow presentation together saying, it is safe, it is, like, I have space, and this is how long it takes me to get to work, and, like, I would love your support, that kind of thing. So, basically what I'm trying to say is, I wish we were all in one central location so that we could have toured places together. I
feel like that would have
really helped out, and I think it would have weeded out a lot of things too, like a lot of
and that kind of ties into my biggest mistake, or for me, that I felt I wish I had just done a little better of making the priorities list and being like real with yourself about this is actually what matters. Proximity to stuff, or safety, or access, or looks of the place. Because I jumped into this of just, it's a city, it's Boston, it's looking at the city as a whole and realizing cities are just made up of a bunch of tiny little vibes. Yeah. And so the vibes aren't going to be the same, even if the price is the same, even if they're both nice places. Know your vibe and know the vibe that matters to you. True.
And like, I think it was just luck. We had luck the first time.
With it too, obviously the applications they cost money.
True.
There was a lot of time, a lot of emotional energy put into it, and so I only say it was a mistake because I think it would save a lot of time.
Yes, I definitely think I would make the steps to save the time and money, but I do think. Are we going into good
Let's
things?
talk about our biggest yes.
Our biggest yes. Shout out our realtor.
Love Charlotte.
Okay, and like again, another shout out to my mother. We were kind of close. My job had started only like a week and like 2 weeks from like getting the apartment, so we were cutting it pretty close.
Very close.
Morale was low. And my mom said, if you're going to do something, you got to put your mind to it and you're going to do it. Because, like, enough talking.
Yeah.
Like, she was like, cut the crap. And she goes, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach out. She reached out to her friend who's a real estate agent in Connecticut. And seeing if she had any connections. Thankfully, she did. Connected us with a young real estate agent. She's only...
Who knew the vibe.
A couple years older than us, had just... like was also a recent graduate and was kind of just like, okay, this is what you need, and this is your price point, and these are the places that I have available, and like and she helped me make decisions based off of like, okay, like, you don't want this, you don't want that, so that's out. And like
it was just so helpful to have somebody say, in reality, you don't have 500 choices, you have 2, pick one. And then based off that choice, here you go.
Exactly.
And it was the clarity that she brought
in. And I think her just like genuine knowledge of the area and like just rental properties, dealing with landlords and property managers, and the communication style really like was so strong.
And not tapping into the ethics or my personal opinion about it, but also our landlord isn't in the US. Correct. Or a lot of the building owner, landlord, whatever. And so there are a lot of people to deal with, and so it was nice to have that first person, the real estate agent, be like, these are your people.
True.
That you're dealing with.
So she was beautiful, and like I loved her process. So definitely like that would be my yes. My yes was, it seems like a real estate agent's cost or their fee is a lot, and you're like, I could do it on my own, but it makes the emotional and the mental like drain it has is put it on someone else and pay for it.
That's their job,
and it was her job to answer my questions at 10 p.m. Like, and yes, maybe I shouldn't have texted her at 10 p.m., but she understood my like anxiety, and she understood the like pressure. So
and just the same as you would look at somebody that was kind of shopping for a house without a realtor as, whoa, why are you putting yourself through that much stress unnecessarily?
Exactly.
Especially in a city. And because this is Boston, we live, that's okay to say. Yeah, we live in Boston. They're gonna find us.
No, I hope they do.
Moving to, like, I'm new to this city,
Yeah.
And I don't know it well, and so it was really nice to just have somebody in our corner.
Correct, and yeah, so I think Charlotte was biggest yes. Shout out
Miss Charlotte.
Miss Shar.
Okay, actual moving.
Mm-hmm.
The rubber meets the road. We found the place. Date was set.
Yeah, finally, it felt like it was like a weight lifted off of our shoulders.
A huge, huge relief.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what you think was the biggest mistake for the actual move.
Ooh.
Or something, like we reframed for the first one. Something that when you're doing it again, what are we doing differently?
Hiring movers. I love the gym. I love working out and staying active and being fit. Moving is not a form of exercise I enjoy.
Nope.
And I think it's gonna be the same with like the real estate agent. Hire someone else to do it. That is their job, is to take all of my crap and put it somewhere else, because I'm not doing it again. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk.
The end.
Like literally the end. Like that dresser, I will not be lifting it up.
No.
Like I will personally travel and move my clothing and my like jewelry and light bags. I will not be moving furniture. No. So, and
and that's the thing. To clarify, I have no issue. I'll organize a box. I'll put things together.
Yeah.
I'll fold the sheets. I'll
write a
put
label.
the clothes in the little hanger bags.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I will not be moving couches up and downstairs. I am retired.
And okay, but like another prop to you, because you went into it full, like fully, I don't even know the word, like enthusiastic. Like I was like, well, I'm gonna need you to lift up this 500-pound mattress and put it in my room, and you were like, done.
Well, and with those things, they're so painful and unenjoyable that it's just better to get it done.
Yeah. Like, you were like, there's no sense in waiting.
No. Because it's going to hurt, and it's going to be... We moved, it was so hot and sweaty. And I do not get me wrong, I love heat. I will love heat till the day I die. But it was the kind where your hands just sweat, so as you're moving...
Nothing's gripping.
Everything was sliding. And also, I say this with so much love and compassion, when you move... and you're moving out of your parents' house and your parents are involved, you're also moving with all that family goodness and tension and...
Yeah, like...
So it's... Yeah. Moving days are just...
But, like, I feel like our parents were more just, like...
But here's the thing that I think we did well. And my win. Because, kind of looping into that tension family thing, we staggered the move-ins. Like, with
unintentionally.
College, totally unintentionally. But if you're moving with 4 people... Or really, more than one
or two.
This staggering your moves actually was, I think, one of the most helpful things.
I agree. I think, well, to clarify, move-in day was September 1st. And for those that don't know, Boston is a, like, insane, crazy time at September 1st. Like, everyone's moving in and out at the same exact time.
And we're tucked in between Tufts, Harvard.
Yeah, we have college campuses moving in and out at that exact time. But so unintentionally, I was the first to get here, get the keys. And, I was actually fortunate enough to meet the residents that lived in our apartment before, and they gave me tips.
The scoop.
They gave me the scoop. They gave me the tips, tricks, the kinks, and everything about the apartment and the area, which I was so grateful for. And they even were like, hey, we notice you have a lot of stuff in your car. Would you like help? And I was like, I would love nothing more. So I had
Thank you so much.
2 random strangers literally put their backs into it and bring up, and at that point there was no furniture. It was honestly just like my clothes and stuff. So I was living out of bags and sleeping on an air mattress for a good 12 days.
We were roughing it.
Would never do that again. We roughed it, and then Landon came in. Our other roommate was there that afternoon, and I helped him move his stuff. But it was
like your wave of stuff came through the door. It was kind of put away where it needed to be.
Yep, it was in my room. His stuff then got tucked into where he needed it to be, and there was Then you came in.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Landon.
A day later.
Yeah, a day later, and then me and Landon then helped you move your stuff in, and so that was 3. Mm-hmm. And then all 4 of us helped Talia move in
her stuff,
her things, and then there was all 4 of us to then move the living room furniture in. Yep. That Landon's parents so graciously provided for us, which was really sweet of them.
But it was nice to have that breathing room around.
Yeah.
Because TBH, I get so overstimulated moving when there's just a bunch of stuff and nothing's in its place. And
you have no clue where to put anything.
Your temperature's deregulated, you're probably dehydrated, hungry, you're praying
sleepy.
to the Lord that there's a working bathroom.
Yeah, like
moving itself is there's just a certain element of
you just drove a certain amount of hours.
That's
too.
You're so right, because often all of our moves happened at the end of long drives.
Well, yeah, I mean, we weren't moving down the street per se. We were moving states.
Yeah, both of us moved
out of state. All of everyone except for Talia. So Landon and you moved from similar areas, and then I moved southern, from being more south.
I think with moving, though, kind of wrapping up that section, is just plan. And it sounds so cliche, but planning it out makes it go so much better.
Yeah. Like wing other things.
And if you're not planning for the move, plan financially to hire people to move for you.
True. If you're like, I don't want to lift a finger, then okay, then you need to make sure that you have the means to hire a company. Good. And I think when we eventually move out of this place, even if you and your roommate are going the same destination, split it.
Split it. Absolutely split it.
Like, go for the bigger truck and split the cost.
Yeah.
Because it will just come out cheaper at the end.
That's what they called me in high school.
Cheaper at the end.
And then lastly, talking about the post-move era, our personal Midnights era. We've been here for just about 3 months, looking at that first couple weeks in the apartment, the immediate post-move. What were some things that you would now look out for?
Oh, I would totally make sure that, like, if I could go back and tell myself, like, hey, like, here's a hint. I think the air mattress I slept on for the first 12 days, like, really destroyed my back. Yeah. So, like, maybe I should have figured out my little furniture situation beforehand, but you know what? We have it now. Exactly. That's all that matters. I think also I'm grateful for being with people I know already and I've spent time with before moving. Yeah. And, like, I'm very good friends with all of you. And I think it's really interesting to see the way other people live. Yes. Like, 'cause I had roommates in college, but that's college. Like, this is, like, we have big girl, big boy jobs right now. So, seeing... It's like young professional living versus college living. Exactly. So, like, seeing the, like, routine and just seeing, like, what people do and, like, I think it's just more interesting. Funny. Everybody, you can tell everybody was raised so differently. Yeah, and it's, like, just, like, little quirks, too. But, being transparent, I have to remind myself that it's not wrong, it's just different. Just literally different. But even down to everything from temperature to dishes to laundry. Yeah. Even, because I think it's so interesting, like, show respect to your roommates. But okay, what does respect look like for each roommate person? Yeah. And how do you find that central It's kind of like love languages, living languages. I like almost. That. So, like, just finding what works, and also, I think, communicating, because I have a tendency to, like, bottle things in and then blow up, and then everyone was like, whoa, where did that come from? And you're like, this has been brewing. This has been brewing, but nobody knows that, Rebecca, because you didn't tell them. So, like, I've been trying to work with, like, communication about just, like, it's really not that deep. Like, do the dishes, clean up after yourself, and I speak for this with myself as well. Keep your room however you want your room to be. Exactly. Fine, but, like, the common spaces, I think we're all in a really good rhythm right now, just about just being clean, picking up, because we're all doing so many different things throughout the day, too. Yeah. Like, I make my lunch for school in the morning, and, I make my lunch for school in the morning, before school, wake up, and, like, I'm the first one out the door. Yeah. But I'm also the first one to come in after after work because of the hours for school is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more just like...
That kind of ties into one of the biggest things that, especially with you and me, but the rest of the apartment that we're figuring out is decompression time.
True.
Of that we are in a city. The apartments aren't sprawling by any
means. We don't have like a nice garden to go walk around in.
And I feel like we're all a bit of a different mix of introvert and extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
And so finding that time of, dude, if you're coming in off a screaming work day where it just was not the vibe,
mm-hmm.
like how does that look? And what space do you need? What environment do you need?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's hard. We have 4 different people that we need to provide and create a safe, nurturing environment for. Not to sound all ooh.
But like, you're right. And we also have, all of our jobs are extremely different. And
So
like, I
different.
think mine is a little more off the spectrum than the rest of the
Are
3
you calling my
roommates.
job on the spectrum?
No, I'm saying like you and the other
I
2
know.
roommates work in a similar world.
Yes.
I am in a completely different universe when it comes to work life.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. It's interesting.
Well, without going into any detail about it, I think one of the huge things, I go to work with adults, you go to work
with children.
And we spend the same amount of hours with those people.
Mm-hmm. And so sometimes all I need to do, and there's also some days I come home from work and all I need to do is talk to somebody above the age of 12. And then there's other times where I'm like, all I want to do is literally, like, don't talk to anybody and zone out.
Mm-hmm.
And
don't
like,
look at me, don't touch me, don't talk to me.
Like, I need some time, and then I think it's about respecting boundaries and or just plain on respecting everybody else's, like, ways they come home, ways they live, and finding out how to respect others.
Because, and like, saying this, I can say this directly to you, of that when my job is going well, when everything's going well, when the apartment's doing well, it's easy to get along and be in the same space and enjoy each other's company. What matters, and one of the reasons that I genuinely love you the way I do, is that it's in those hard times that we're able to say, hey, I need space, or hey, I'm doing XYZ, and then we can talk about this.
Yeah,
or,
like,
and I
save it for another hour. Like,
that
give me an
saves
hour.
the apartment.
Yeah, I think communication, just in general, is good.
But we'll end with this. I think the most important, biggest takeaway, and I'm laughing, but I'm so serious about this, is if you have IBS, move in with somebody else who does as well, because you never have to explain
that you need to spend that hour in the bathroom.
Yep.
And also, be fully transparent if you do have tummy issues about those tummy issues. Because,
do not suffer in silence.
Because, you take baths in the girls' bathroom, and that is completely okay. But you always make sure that I am set for at least an hour when it comes to using the facilities, because you know that when a storm is a brewing.
When a storm is a brewing. Well, thank you so much, Bex, for coming on the show. It's
oh my
a joy
gosh. Thank you for having
to talk
me.
to you as always. Alright guys, thank you so much for listening to the Downright Happy Podcast. My name is Will Foster, and you can find this show on any place that you listen to podcasts, and you can find us on TikTok or Instagram under Daily Foster. Remember, be kind, be loved, and above all,
Be professional movers.
be professional movers.
Move to a city.
Move to a city.
Just do it.